Good afternoon, friends. So, in the last class, we discussed about the first two topics in the Group 1 main syllabus analysis. Now, we will discuss the remaining three topics that are there in the Group 1 main syllabus of the Environment and Development paper. So, I hope you have seen the last class video. You please see that, and that is this video is the continuation of the previous video. That is the Environment and Development Group 1 Tspsc mains 50 marks paper analysis, detailed explanation. So in the previous class we have completed the prelims and the first two topics of the mains Environment and Development paper. Now this is the continuation class of that particular session. Now understand here, my friends, the Group 1 mains Tspsc, the third topic. These are the side headings given in this particular in ecosystem. The types of ecosystems, the threats faced by the ecosystems. What do you mean by ecology and the food chains? And biodiversity, the types of biodiversity. What are the threats to biodiversity? What are the various conservation measures? What are the various conservation measures that are taken at the national level, that is at the Indian government level, for the protection of biodiversity? So this is the third topic. Now understand, friends, this is purely the theoretical topic with a little bit of application also. So see here, what do you mean by ecosystem? What do you mean by ecosystem? Ecosystem is defined as the structural and functional unit of biosphere. It is the structural and functional unit of biosphere. Now you have a new word called as biosphere. What do you mean by biosphere here? Biosphere, simply it is called as a living sphere. Bio means living, sphere means it's a geographical area where the life forms reside. That is called as biosphere. So what do you mean by biosphere? It is a living sphere and it is located at the zone of confluence. It is located at the zone of confluence of atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere. Understand that very clearly. That is called as the biosphere. Biosphere means living sphere or the living place or living geographical area where life forms can reside. So what is biosphere? It is the confluence, zone of confluence of atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere. Now understand here very clearly, any life form will survive only in the biosphere. Understand that very clearly. For example, for a human being to survive, obviously he requires the air from the atmosphere, he requires the water from the hydrosphere, he requires the nutrients from the soil, that is the lithosphere. So biosphere, it is the zone of confluence of the atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere. So what is ecosystem? We started with the ecosystem. It is called a structural and functional unit of the biosphere. I told you, in biosphere all living forms will reside, but they reside in various ecosystems. They reside or they are present in the various ecosystems. So what is the ecosystem? Just try to understand here very clearly. It is the structural and functional unit of a biosphere. That means ecosystem will have a certain structure. Every ecosystem will have such a certain structure and it will perform certain function. Understand that very clearly. For example, there are various types of ecosystems. Like river ecosystem is there. River ecosystem, a flowing river. This river ecosystem will have a specific structure. Obviously, it will have it is the main tributary followed by sub-tributaries like this. It will have a delta or it may have a estuary like this. It will have a structure and it will perform certain functions. What are the various functions performed by a river? It will provide the water to the life forms. Then it will accommodate the water to flow in the particular direction. Then it will purify the pollutants. Then it will carry the sediments. This is the functions. At the mouth of the rivers, they deposit the sediments and create the deltas. So these are all the various functions performed by the river ecosystem. That means the ecosystem are various types. Like you have the river ecosystem, it has a structure, it will perform certain functions. You have a wetland ecosystem, you have various types of ecosystem. You have wetland ecosystem, Wetlands. Okay, the land surfaces covered with water for more period of time in a given year, more than 8 months. Okay, generally it is more than 8 months. The land surface covered with water for more than 8 months, it is called as wetland. Now the wetland, what they will do? They provide fresh water to the citizens. Okay, they act like a migratory area for birds. Okay, they consist of the various water related biodiversity like fishes, frogs, reptiles, all those things. They help in recharging of the groundwater in a particular region. Okay, they have a specific structure. A wetland, okay, if you look at a lake wetland, okay, it may be a very big, okay, or it may be a very small wetland. It will have certain functions, okay, like providing fresh water. Okay, they absorb the floods, excessive floods. Okay, they absorb the floods. Okay, during the excessive flood season or excessive rainy season, they absorb the floods or water content and slowly release them. Okay, then what they will do, they help in microclimate regulation in a particular region. Okay, they recharge the groundwater. Okay, so they provide the aesthetic, they have the aesthetic value. So such a functions are performed by the wetlands. Similarly, we have the desert ecosystem. Similarly, we have a desert ecosystem. If you see the desert ecosystem, type of ecosystem, it will have a certain structure. It will have sand dunes. It will have oases. It will have seeps and barchans. Okay, it will have the erosional landforms. It will have depositional landforms. Deserts. It will have a structure. It will perform certain functions. Okay, it will also perform certain functions. It holds certain biodiversity inside it. Like you have some of the species like cactus, okay, present in the desert ecosystem. Certain birds are there in the desert ecosystem, especially the snakes are present in the desert ecosystem. Okay, it will perform certain functions like that. Okay, you're getting the things. Similarly, we have ocean. If you go for ocean ecosystem, it will have obviously a structure and it will have certain function. The biggest function performed by the ocean ecosystem is that they are responsible for driving the hydrological cycle on the planet Earth. They are responsible for driving the water cycle on the planet Earth. They are responsible for the absorption of the CO2 from the atmosphere. Okay, that is the ocean. They act like a major carbon sink for the atmospheric CO2. So they act like a major carbon sink for the atmospheric CO2. So this is a certain function. They hold certain large amount of biodiversity. Okay, on the planet Earth is present in the oceans. Okay, they protect them, they preserve them. The oceans are the home for this particular marine biodiversity. They are home to coral reefs. Okay, so these are all various functions performed by the ocean ecosystem. Similarly, we have the forest ecosystem. Forests, forests, they help in adding the fresh oxygen to the atmosphere. They absorb the CO2 from the atmosphere. Okay, they help in this particular groundwater recharge. They regulate the microclimatic condition. They attract the clouds, water-bearing clouds. So these are all the various functions performed in the forest ecosystem. And each and every forest, it will have certain structure. Okay, if you go and see the evergreen forest, you will see the tall trees. If you go and visit this deciduous forest, you will see somewhat medium-sized tree. If you go and visit this particular scrublands and desert-related forest, you will see the cactus and the thorny vegetation there. Like that, each and every type of forest, okay, is the result of the amount of rainfall that is present in that particular region, and it will have a separate structure. They perform certain function, like they are home to wildlife. So these are the various ecosystems. In the topic of ecosystem, we have to discuss the types of ecosystem. What are the various types of ecosystems? What is ecosystem? What are the types of ecosystem? What are the threats faced by the ecosystems? What are the various threats faced by the ecosystem? For example, take the case of the forest ecosystem. What are the threats faced by the forest ecosystem? Deforestation, okay, cutting down of the trees by the humans for various purposes. Excessive utilization of the forest resources, okay. Forest fires, it's the biggest threat. Forest fire, of course, the forest fires can be natural causes or man-made causes. Two are there. Forest fires. So these are all the various threats. If you go to the oceans, what are the threats to the oceans? You have oil spills, okay, you have excessive extraction of the resources from inside of the ocean, like polymetallic nodules in an unscientific manner. Okay, so these are all the various threats to the ocean. Right now, the biggest threat to the ocean is the ocean acidification. Ocean acidification and the ocean warming. Two are the biggest threats, and because of that, the life forms in the ocean, they are being threatened. So like that, various threats we have to discuss. For wetlands, we have various threats. The wetlands were being encroached, they were being polluted, okay, the resources were extracted in an indiscriminate manner, okay, they were diverted for the developmental purpose, okay, they are used for throwing the construction and other solid waste material into it. So like that, various threats are faced by the wetland ecosystem. Not only the threats, we have to look into how the government laws, policies are working to overcome these threats. That also you should see. For example, if you take this particular wetlands, okay, what are the various threats? What is a wetland? What is the importance of wetland? What are the threats faced by the wetland? What are the steps taken by the Indian government to protect and conserve the wetlands? For example, we have the wetland rules, okay, 2017, new wetland rules 2017. The old wetland rules were first given in the 2010. Now you have new wetland rules. We have National Wetland Committee, State Wetland Committees. We have a national inventory of the wetlands created by the ISRO, that is the Wetland Atlas of India. So these are the various ways in which the government is trying to protect and conserve the wetlands. We signed the Ramsar Convention, International Convention for the Protection and Conservation of Wetlands at the international level. Ramsar Convention, we are part of it. Okay, we have the 27 Ramsar wetlands. Recently, some more 10 are also added. Total 37 Ramsar wetlands. So all this is part of the wetlands ecosystem topic. So don't think that it is an easy topic. No, it is not easy. Understand that very clearly. Okay, and we have to discuss like this. Okay, types of ecosystem and the threats faced by the ecosystem. What are the steps taken by the Indian government to protect and conserve this particular ecosystem? For example, forest fire is a threat. What the government of India is doing to protect and conserve the forest, identify the forest in an early manner. For example, we have this satellite, okay, called as this particular satellite called as the Terra and Aqua. Terra and Aqua satellites are there, okay, which these are not the satellites of ISRO, they are the satellites of NASA, but these satellites, they provide information to the government of India on a continuous real-time basis about the place where the forest fire is going to happen, or it is happening slowly. So from the satellite image, they alert the ground staff and they go and control the forest fires. So this is the thing here. So these are various things that are there. And ecology, it is the scientific study of the entire environment and the subject of the environment. It's a scientific study of the entire environment and ecosystem subjects. Food chains, okay, how the energy is transmitted from the one level of this particular environment or ecosystem to the other level, trophic level, okay, starting from the plants to the next level animals to the next level animals, okay, that is the herbivores, from the herbivores to the carnivores to the omnivores, okay, like that. These are all the food chains related concepts, food chain, food web, trophic level. So these are all simple concepts, they are all simple concepts, but you should understand them slowly after understanding some basics. First only if you read the food chain, food web, all these things, you get a lot of confusion. And the continuation topic for the food chains, food web is the this particular ecological pyramids, inverted pyramids, okay, biogeochemical cycles. So these are all part of the extended or associated topics of this particular food chain. So this is the thing here. Ecosystem. Then biodiversity. What do you mean by biodiversity? Bio means life. Diversity means variety. Diversity means variety. That is the variety of life forms on the planet Earth is called as biodiversity. Okay, the variety of life forms on planet Earth is called as biodiversity. Now, what are the various types of biodiversity? Understand here, you can observe the variety of life forms. You can observe the variety of life forms in three levels. One is the genetic biodiversity. Second is the species biodiversity. Third is ecosystem biodiversity. So at the genetic level, okay, if you take any species, okay, you can see wide variety. For example, take the case of this particular life form, that is the humans himself. So if you observe the human genetic level, we are all different. Humans are very much different. That wise, there is a reason why we look differently. But commonly we are all humans, one single life form. That is called as the genetic biodiversity. That is how you understand the genetic biodiversity. So types, species biodiversity. That means if you take any species, for example, you take the cat species. If you take the cat species, you have various subspecies within it. So it can be a tiger, okay, it can be a lion, it can be a snow leopard, it can be a common leopard, it can be a this particular Asiatic lion, it can be a Asiatic lion, here it is African lion, here it is African lion, or simply it may be a simple cat, domestic cat that you see in our homes. That means within one species, cat species, you have this much of variety. Here it may be a clouded leopard, it may be a clouded leopard, or it may be the jaguar, it may be the jaguar, or it may be a puma, P-U-M-A, puma. So these are all various cat species. So this is what these species biodiversity is all about. Ecosystem biodiversity, just we have seen the types of ecosystem. We have the land-based ecosystem, we have the water-based ecosystem. Within the land-based ecosystem, we have the forest ecosystem, desert ecosystem, okay, water-based ecosystem, we have oceans, rivers, ponds, lakes, wetlands. So these are all various types of biodiversity. Understand that very clearly. You can observe the biodiversity at genetic level, species level, ecosystem level. Then what are the threats to the biodiversity? What are the threats to the biodiversity? So the biodiversity is threatened at a greater scale or at a larger scale. So for example, forests or the plants, they are part of the biodiversity. What you are doing? You are cutting the forest. So it is a threat. Then you take the case of this particular animal, you take the case of the any animals, okay, biodiversity, which are part of the biodiversity. Or you take the case, example in India, you take the case of the one-horn rhino, one-horn rhino. What is the threat faced to the one-horn rhino? The threat that is being faced by the one-horn rhino, it is they are killing this particular one-horn rhino for this horn, and you have this particular animal tiger is being killed or poached for its skin, okay, for its nails, for its mustache, okay, for its bones, even for its meat. So these are various threats to the biodiversity. It may be entire ecosystem, for example forest, or it may be individual species, that is a single species like forest, okay, lion or the one-horn rhino. So these are the various threats. Okay, we have threats. What the government of India is doing for the protection and conservation of biodiversity. Threats are there. Biodiversity is naturally available, but it is we have types of biodiversity, but it is being threatened. It is being threatened. Obviously, you have to protect it. You have to conserve it. The best thing the government is doing to protect and conserve the biodiversity is Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Wildlife Protection Act 1972, where it has mentioned the animals like a tiger, lion, elephant in the Schedule 1, and any person who is killing these particular creatures will be kept in jail for 7 years and there is no bail at all. In this particular Wildlife Protection Act, it's a very strict act. It is concerned with the protection of biodiversity. It can be plant, it can be animal in India. Apart from this, conservation measures, as part of conservation measures, the government of India has come out with a unique and novel concept called as the Protected Area Network of India. Protected Area Network of India. What is this Protected Area Network of India? As part of Protected Area Network of India, the government of India has come out with the concept of national parks. National parks. It has come out with the concept of wildlife sanctuaries. It has come out with the concept of conservation reserves. Conservation reserves. It has come out with the concept of community reserves. It has come out with the concept of community reserves. So these are the various protected area networks that are present in India. So totally they occupy 5.05% of the total geographical area of India. Understand that very clearly, and you also have a number. Okay, so it is around 800 or something is there. For example, national parks, we have the 105 national parks are there in India. So by creating such national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, community reserves, conservation reserves, the government is trying to protect the biodiversity in India. So apart from that, we also have the conservation measures. We also have the concept of biosphere reserves. We also have the concept of the UNESCO natural heritage sites. You also have the concept of this particular biodiversity hotspots. You also have the concepts like important bird and biodiversity areas. So these are, you also have the concept of critical wildlife habitat areas. So these are all various tools, various ways in which the government of India is trying to protect and conserve the biodiversity. So understand here very clearly, you need to protect and conserve the biodiversity because it is gifted by the nature. So as part of the conservation measures, you have to see all of them. So this is the third topic. Coming to the fourth topic, environment pollution. So it's a simple topic. Environment pollution, what you do? You discuss about the types of environmental pollution, air pollution. You discuss about the water pollution. You discuss about the soil pollution. You discuss about the noise pollution. So these are the various, we discuss about the ocean pollution or marine pollution. Okay, so these are all various pollution related aspects. So when you are discussing about the air pollution, you have to discuss in detail about the sources of air pollution. What are the problems with the air pollution? How are people affected with the air pollution? What are the steps taken by the Indian government to solve the problem of the air pollution? What is the law that is concerned with the air pollution? What are the various recent technologies bought by the Indian government to overcome the air pollution? For example, in the thermal power plants, the technological advancement is the government of India has come out with the concept of supercritical thermal power plants to overcome the air pollution. In case of the vehicular emissions, the government has come out with the BS6 vehicle norms to reduce the air pollution levels. So these are all various aspects you have to discuss. Similarly, water. Why the water pollution is happening? Point sources, non-point sources. Okay, how it is impacting the biodiversity, how it is impacting the economic life of the people. Okay, what are the various laws, what are the various policies, programs. Okay, for example, river water pollution is there, Ganga river water pollution. You have the Namami Gange program. So like that, various things are there, water pollution. Similarly, soil, noise, ocean pollution. Okay, you have to see in detail in this particular environment pollution topic. Solid waste management. So it's a very big topic and it's a new topic. So solid waste, it can be the waste generated by the real estate sector during the construction of house. It can be this particular unused iron scrap, or it can be the plastic waste and other biomedical waste. So these are all the solid waste management types. How the solid waste is generated, what are the factors responsible for the generation of solid waste, okay, how it is impacting the society and the other life forms, what are the various technological advancements for the recycle and reuse of the solid waste. For example, the plastic waste, you can just melt it, you can combine with the hardwood powder, and you can go for the laying of the roads. Okay, so that is done in some countries. So these are the how you recycle and reuse it. Similarly, we have the solid waste management rule 2016, which talks about various steps that has to be taken for the effective utilization of the solid waste and handling of the solid waste, which talks about that every municipality in India should construct should take appropriate steps for the reuse and recycle of the solid waste. So this is about the solid waste. It's a simple topic, nothing much is there. In fact, of all the topics, it is the easy topic. Of all the 5 topics, it is the easy topic. Similarly, we have the 5th topic, global environmental issues. So what are the global level environmental issues? The biggest global level environmental issues in recent times is the ozone layer depletion. So it is one of the global level environmental issues. Second is oil spills. Third is melting of polar ice caps. Global environmental issue, polar ice caps. Okay, so these are all the various global level environmental issues. Similarly, we have one of the global environmental issue, desertification. Desertification is there. Then you have this particular trafficking in wildlife. So these are all the various global level environmental issues. So take the case of the ozone layer depletion. You have to understand in detail this particular global level environmental issue, ozone layer depletion. Here you have to see in detail how the ozone layer is formed. Okay, what is the mechanism behind the formation of the ozone layer? How the ozone layer facilitated the evolution of the life forms on the planet Earth, including the humans. And what is the mechanism behind it? For millions of years, you will be totally surprised that because of the ozone layer only, the higher life forms on the planet Earth has got evolved and originated, including humans. So such an importance is there for the ozone layer. But what happened? So that was there from millions of years, it is there intact. But because of the release of the chlorofluorocarbons into the Earth's atmosphere, what is happening? The ozone layer got depleted. And because of the depletion of the ozone layer, what has happened is that the powerful UVB, UVC rays, they began to fall onto the humans and other life forms, and that's why there is an increase in the cancer cases at the global level. Okay, understand that. So such an important ozone layer is there, it is being depleted. Now to overcome this particular global human problem, okay, environmental human problem, the entire world has come together and signed the three important conventions. One is called as the Vienna Convention 1985, which talks about the protection and conservation of ozone layer. Second is the Montreal Protocol on ozone depleting substances, which talks about what are the steps we should take to overcome the or decrease or phase out the ozone depleting substances. Similarly, the recent Kigali Agreement, which talks about, okay, totally eliminating the this particular HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons, okay, in a given time frame. So these are all about the ozone layer depletion, okay, global environmental issues. Similarly, oil spills. So the various governments, especially the Russia, USA, they are going for the excessive extraction of the oil resources in the Arctic region. Because of that, oil spills are happening and they are threatening the marine ecosystems. So it is one big problem, global level. Melting of polar ice caps. Again, it is linked with the global warming. Because of the global warming, okay, the Earth's atmospheric temperatures are increasing and melting the polar ice caps. Okay, but this is threatening the polar biodiversity, especially in the northern hemisphere, the polar bears, and in the southern hemisphere, the penguins. Similarly, we have desertification problem. Finally, we have this particular trafficking in wildlife. So, global environmental issues are these. We have to discuss them in detail. What are the various conventions, or what are the various protocols and agreements, whether India is part of them or not. Okay, if India is part of them, what India is doing. Second, we have the problem global warming and its impact, climate change, and sustainable development. Very simple. Just I will give an overview. See here, global warming is leading to climate change. That is, the Earth climate is changing because of the global warming. What is the solution for this particular thing? How to overcome this? The only solution we have is sustainable development. Sustainable development. That is the development which meets the needs of the present generation and also ensure that the same needs are met by the future generation. Okay, that is called as sustainable development, or the development that protects and conserves and wisely utilizes the resources of the existing resources and pass the same resources to the future generation. This is the sustainable development, the only solution to the global warming and climate change. In the previous session, I have told what is global warming, how global warming is happening. The first case study you remember, okay? Because of the global warming, because of the anthropogenic activities, human activities, we are releasing a lot of CO2 into the atmosphere, and the CO2 gas has a peculiar physical property. The physical property of CO2 gas is such that it will allow the incoming solar radiation, but it is blocking the outgoing terrestrial radiation. Because of that, what is happening? The Earth's atmospheric temperature is increasing, and because of that, the increase in the Earth's atmospheric temperatures are altering the global climate, or altering the global climate. That you call it as climate change. Now, how the impact of the global warming? See here, global warming and its impact. How you are feeling the impact of the global warming? You are feeling the impact of the global warming in the following forms. There is increase in the temperatures at the global level. Okay, there is increase in the strength of the natural disasters. Okay, there is severe floods occurring at various places. There are severe droughts occurring in the various places. For example, last year, Zimbabwe country has experienced the worst drought in the human history. Okay, understand that very clearly. Similarly, there are severe forest fires. Last year we have seen how Australia is impacted by the severe forest fires. Okay, so global warming is leading to climate change. And the solution for this, to overcome the global warming and climate change, how to reverse that is sustainable development. That means you go for the convention, the solar, wind based energy resources. You just go for the technology for sustainable utilization of the resources. So like that, you just reverse the trend. You attack the CO2. You just attack the CO2 here. That's it. Why? Because the CO2 is the main culprit here, apart from the other greenhouse gases. So this is the solution. So as part of sustainable development, see, this topic is a very important topic. Global environmental issues, global warming and climate change. You have to start from 1952, and we have to see up to 2020 at the international level and also at the India level. So it's a very big topic and also an important topic. You can expect this topic in essay. Since it is very big, the Tspsc has given it as a separate topic. only topic in the Group 2 and Group 3 examinations. So this is friends about the Tspsc Group 1 mains environment and development paper, analysis of the syllabus. So this is how it is. You just understand it very clearly, you listen to it very clearly. Okay, in the next class we'll see the exactly what are the various topics in this particular environment and development subject. Step by step manner we will see, and we'll see some examples of the topics also discussion. So thank you friends, thank you for watching this. Okay, happy learning, and thank you very much.